didn't do a lot of winning, but I was there.
But they do.
That Sportsbook is great. Yeah, I'm excited to go there. I'd go hang if I was back there.
Oh, yeah, it's a good spot. In fact, this is a spot that you and Ange would like to just spend the day at. You know, like you were saying, you guys find a spot, you kind of belly up to the bar, and then you sit and watch the games.
It's an easy place to lose 4 or 5 hours.
800-990-3776. Matthew in the 414 weighing in saying, I have 2 monitors at work, so I have basketball on one of them, and on the other monitor, I also have basketball.
Again, 4 games going on at one time, so you slowly ease your way into it, and next thing you know, you got 4 going on. So you got to keep your head on a swivel.
Let us know how you are attacking the day, how you plan on consuming the basketball, if you will take a long lunch in order to watch the Badgers game as they play Montana today. And then... Excuse me. As we roll on with the show this morning, we have Kevin Harlan, who's going to join the show in the second hour. He is calling the March Madness games that are here in Milwaukee at Fiserv Forum. That's a good slate of games as well. Love to get his insight on the teams, those matchups, and of course we could talk to him about the Green Bay Packers because he is well versed in that space as well. Jason Wilde is coming up. We'll talk to him about the Packers. We also have our own bracket here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Didn't want to let that tradition die. So later in the show, we will reveal our bracket, and as the weeks go on, we will put those matchups on our Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter account, and you guys can vote and move those things through the bracket as well. So much more to get to. We are live here at Potawatomi Sportsbook for the start of the men's NCAA basketball tournament. Stick around. Jason Wilde is coming up next.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
The only thing we've got going on right now is on Glenview Avenue or 84th Street. Right just as you're getting to Blue Mountain Road, we have the left lane blocked with a crash. So just something to keep in mind if you're going to be heading through that area. Otherwise, the freeway system is actually looking pretty good. Not seeing too many other issues around the area, and volume is relatively light. Traffic is brought to you by Granite Peak in Wausau. Visit skigranitepeak.com for lift tickets and lodging packages. Granite Peak, where winter lasts longer. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Gradual clearing, afternoon sunshine, windy with a high of 38. Tonight, mainly clear and cool, a low of 29. Weather is brought to you by Higher Love Cannabis Company. No matter the forecast, they have something to lift your spirit. Less than an hour from Green Bay, visit us in Ironwood and Menominee or online at findhigherlove.com/CBD. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Tourney time is here, and Burnsy's Bar and Grill on 97th and Greenfield is the place to be. 29 TVs to catch all the games, ice-cold drinks, and unbeatable specials. Watch hoops and get $5 call mixers, $6 doubles, $4 shots, and $3 beer specials. Get your grub on while enjoying all of Burnsy's appetizers, each under $10. Dozens of TVs, tons of drink specials, and apps for everyone. It's Burnsy's Bar and Grill on 97th and Greenfield. Don't miss a minute of the action.
The wait is over. Brewers baseball is back. Time to pick your Brewers games and get back to the ballpark for tailgate traditions and walk-off wins. Be here for opening day. Come back for the big games and the best giveaways. Where else would you want to be? Brewers tickets for the 2025 season are on sale now. That's opening day and every game, all summer long. Get on board for the show today. Grab your seats at brewers.com/ticket finder.
It's time for you and that diamond to come alive again.
At the 4th annual Spring Ring Cleaning at Kessler's.
Even if you have a good ultrasonic jewelry cleaner,
it can't match the pressurized steam cleaning we do at Kessler's.
Let us steam clean and polish your engagement ring.
For free.
I'm Joe Gerke, president of Kessler's, and we want to strip away all the soap scum that is making your diamond look dull.
For free. And while we're doing it, we'll inspect the prongs on your ring to make sure your diamond isn't about to fall out.
It's the 4th annual Spring Ring Cleaning at Kessler's.
Here's another idea. Bring us anything you own that needs to be repaired.
And we'll give you a price to make it like new again.
And if you have some old jewelry you don't wear anymore,
we can make something unique and wonderful out of it.
Unique in all the world.
Welcome to Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you, visit Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
At the Knickerbocker Hotel, we believe your stay should be as convenient and luxurious as possible. Whether you're planning a small meeting or a special event, our versatile space is perfect for any occasion. Start your day with a delicious meal at the Nick Restaurant and Bar, or unwind at the Nick Salon and Spa. Wanting to stay active? Their 24-hour fitness center is always available. If you need something custom made or alterations made, there's a tailor on site. The Knickerbocker, where every detail is designed with your comfort in mind. For more information and to book your next stay, visit knickerbockeronthelake.com.
Ready, down, put. All Packers, all the time.
He was a field-tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
We are live at the Potawatomi Sportsbook today, celebrating the men's NCAA tournament and the women's tournament, obviously going on as well. But today the games for the men start in earnest after the first four were played earlier this week. Badgers play this afternoon, and we are asking you this morning, how are you going to handle work and basketball? You got two screens, you taking the day off, you go into a spot like Chewy and his wife to enjoy basketball all day long. What is your plan for attacking the day? And joining us now is Jason Wilde. Jason, will you be watching the Badgers game this afternoon?
Yes. Hey, let's get this going here. You've got Kevin Harlan on. Let's keep this short, huh?
Not until 8:30 this morning, so we got plenty of time.
Okay. All right.
So, Jason, you'll be watching the Badgers. Are you one of these guys who you'll go to an establishment, you'll sit in the living room, because you'll have wrapped your show?
Yeah, I don't leave my house.
Yeah.
You know that. I mean, come on.
Well, when your children have activities.
That's true, but they'll be at school. So I will have, there's a couple of different TVs downstairs in our basement, so I'll probably have two different games on. But the first 2 days are my favorite days of the tournament. I mean, obviously, Championship Monday is a huge deal, and the Final Four and everything else. But I just love it when there's this many games going on, and these are my two favorite days by far of the tournament. So I'm going to enjoy as much of it as I can before tomorrow when we have to go to Stevens Point for a track meet.
Jason, some of the rule changes are out. Do you see any of them passing?
Well, first of all, I don't see the push being banned. I see this, and I think we've talked about this before, that, Mark Murphy, always the trial balloon guy, falling on this grenade by, being the team that puts this forth. I'm sure there are more teams than the Packers that think the push should be banned. Whether or not it's enough to get it actually deleted from the rule book, I'm not sure about that. And I can't imagine the NFL wants to upend their entire structure of their league with division winners by making it so wild card teams can have a higher seed if they didn't win their division. So those two for sure I don't see, in my opinion, being passed. But
doesn't that one make sense, Jason? That one just, to me, it makes sense. Because then you could have a 9-8 team getting a home game while a 13-4 team gets stiffed.
Yeah, I would say it doesn't happen that frequently, and I understand where you're coming from, but there's a lot of inherently unfair things about the schedule, right? Like, it's not as, there's the rotation system, there's the matching up of divisions. Like, let's be honest, if the Packers didn't play the AFC South last year, what would their record have been? Right? Like, that was one of the worst divisions in the league. They swept it. They got swept in their own division, if not for Carl Brooks's finger. Like, I just think that, you play who you play, and you're in the division you're in. And this was an instance where, they had was it a 14-3 and 13-4 in the NFC North, or 15-2, 14-3, whatever it was. I get it. but I think that's more often an outlier than not. I remember there was a time, and by the way, go win the game, right? Like Seattle, I think, I don't know how many years ago this was, that they won the division. It was before it went to 17 games. So I think they were 7-9.
That's correct.
And they did have a home game, and they did win. So if you're that good, here would be my argument. If you're that good of a team that you feel like you got hosed by not having a home game, then go to that place and win if you're that good. And obviously that didn't happen that year.
2011?
Sounds about right. Jason, I guess if that one doesn't pass, I don't think any of these are going to pass because the Lions, throwing out there, hey, shouldn't be an automatic first down with illegal contact or defensive holding. Again, they led the league with defensive holding last year. I can't imagine that passes. I don't think the league wants to make regular season games longer. The proposal from the Eagles where everybody gets a possession guaranteed in the overtime, so that's more closely aligned with what you see in the postseason. I guess I just don't see any of these passing then. If you think that there's no chance for the playoff seeding thing to get passed, I thought that had a better chance than most of the other rule change proposals that are out there.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick one that I thought had the best chance, and that's what Chewy's arguing there, I guess it's that one. But again, I just don't think the NFL – I think what the NFL likes is rivalries and the importance of winning your division. And again, the vagaries of the schedule. I mean, if you don't get to play, and look, Houston. I know Houston won a playoff game, but I didn't think they were that impressive last year, and clearly they didn't either because they've been one of the busiest teams in the league during these first 2 weeks of the league year. So I'm curious to see what the Packers season looks like in 2025. Because I would argue that the matchups of the divisions are much harder this time around than they were last year. And so,
well, and that was part of the intrigue, right, Jason? Because the Lions obviously won the division. If this rule were in place, this would have benefited the Vikings. You think the Lions are sitting here going, man, we're playing in one of the toughest divisions in the league. There might be a year where we don't win it, and we don't want to be penalized for not winning the division, but also having, a 14-win season.
Yeah, I don't know if the powers that be want to upend the apple cart. Help me out with this, Gabe, since you're an NBA play-by-play man. Does the divisions don't matter anymore in the NBA, right?
No, I mean if you win your division, you get in. But I mean, especially now with 10 teams basically getting in with the play-in. I mean, yeah, I could not tell you the last time somebody paid attention to the Midwest division winner. Or the Northwest or the Southeast. Like nobody even knows the names of the divisions in the NBA. They're that insignificant at this point.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I just don't think the NFL wants to go down that road. But we'll see. We'll see.
So, Jason, the other thing we're paying attention to are these visits that the Green Bay Packers have where they bring players in. And the guys were talking this morning about how it is almost a certainty if they are brought in for a visit, the Packers are interested in them and may, there's a good chance they will end up on the roster. I said, you got to throw in a red herring every once in a while, right? Otherwise, aren't you just telling on yourself? What is the thought process, you think, for the Green Bay Packers with bringing these guys in for these visits?
Well, they get, 30 of them, right?
Correct.
I would argue that it sure seems to me that about 25 of them are for the end of the draft, day 3 guys, because so often they end up drafting guys in the 5th, 6th, or 7th round. And one of the first things they say on our conference call with them is that they came to Green Bay on a visit and that the coaches put them on the board and they went through the process with Matt LaFleur or with Jeff Hafley or whoever it might be. So I do think that that's true. The question is always, what about the ones that are first-round picks? And a lot of times, the guys over the years, certainly there have been some guys that have been drafted, but then there's other instances like Jair Alexander, who had no contact with the Packers at all and was very surprised when they drafted him. So it's both ends of the spectrum, but a lot of times the guys that come in that are high picks that come for visits, it's a medical thing, and the team wants to get the team doctors want to take a look at that player more closely, for whatever reason, whether it's because they're interested and they have concerns about the injury or what have you. So I'd have to go back in my archives to look at what the track record is for them in terms of drafting first-round picks who came in for a visit. I do know that during COVID, they did use one of their allotted Zoom visits, since no one was doing anything in person, on Jordan Love, and that to me was a big tell that they were, and I remember talking about it at the time. You don't use one of those when they're virtual on a guy you have no interest in. And so that when they drafted him, or when they went on the clock after they traded up and Ayuk had gone the pick before, I just remember sitting, I guess I was at home, of course, thinking, they're going to pick the quarterback. They really are. They're going to pick the quarterback. And lo and behold, they did.
Jason, just so you know, in the last 3 years, the highest picks they have used visits on: Devontae Wyatt, Christian Watson, Edgerrin Cooper, Tyron Hopper.
Yeah, there you go. So those are some big time visits, right? And you would think that those make sense. The Christian Watson one is interesting though, because if you remember in that one, the Vikings held the 32nd pick and the 34th pick, and this becomes germane now with his injury, by the way, because I don't know what they would have done had they faced this decision, but they tried to trade with the Vikings to get number 32, and the Vikings said, no, we're not doing that. And had they gotten that deal done, they would have had 3 first-round picks in that draft, right? It would have been Quay Walker, Devontae Wyatt, and Christian Watson. And now, with him going into the season with the ACL, they would have a 5th-year option decision to make on him right now, which would be really, really interesting. Now, it turned out, obviously, the Vikings had 34. That's the trade they made. That's where they got him. I'm always going to be curious to see how his career plays out, because if he turns out to be a Vikings killer, they'll have to face the reality that they helped the Packers get him, just like Brian Branch. The Packers helped the Lions get with a trade in the 2nd round. But I think that's really interesting that they brought him in for a visit. The Cooper one, you kind of knew that they loved him already. There were also some other question marks about him. There were some concerns about, so I'm sure they wanted to get him on the board to go through their defense to see how he reacted to it. So those are pretty high picks. There's no doubt about it. But I would be curious to know how that compares to how many 6th and 7th rounders they took with those visits.
Jason, in regard to the 5th-year option, I think, Gabe, what did you say? There were 2 teams that only exercised that out of 32 this year?
Yeah, but they do still have over a month. They've got till May 1st to exercise those.
So the number is low, Jason. Wasn't this designed to benefit the franchises and not the players? And did it blow up in their face? Because it doesn't really seem to be working.
Well, I'll tell you that the one situation that the Packers are facing is that for some reason, and Gabe, correct me if I'm wrong, the linebacker number includes edge rushers that play in 3-4 systems.
Yep, correct.
So that's a problem, because that puts the Quay Walker number much higher than the Packers want it to be, right? Even though they're convinced that he's, kind of turned the corner, there have been conversations about the idea of, do we extend him multiple years so we don't have to be on the hook for that one big number for 2025 or 2026, I guess I should say. And I don't know what they're going to do there. But the way Goody talked about both those guys, it is clear that he wants both of them, and that would imply that they're going to give him the 5th-year option. But again, I would think that in Walker's case, they would want to try and spread that charge out, because that's a lot of money to give to a guy who I thought he was playing his best football before he got hurt in Seattle, but I still wouldn't want to commit that number to him for 2026. And if you want him to be on your team for a long time, you might as well lock him up and reduce the year-over-year cost for him, as opposed to that guaranteed 5th-year option number.
Jason, good stuff today. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Have a great one. We'll talk to you again soon.
Enjoy the game, guys. Take care. Be good.
He's Jason Wilde, always on Wilde and Tausch right after Jen, Gabe, and Chewy each and every day here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. Is Tausch on vacation still? Do you know who's hanging? Is it you?
It is not me. I know. That's all I know. It is not me.
Sometimes you'll be like, well, I got to do Wilde and Tausch. I'll be like, what?
It's not me either.
Yeah, no, yes, that's all I can tell you.
That was a given. You're out at
How long would you
8:57.
laugh, Chew, if they asked you to do Wilde and Tausch?
Hey,
after
I
this
did
show?
it one time.
Yeah, I know you did, and I know you're never doing it again.
No, because I get sick of sports and I just want to talk about world things. You know what I mean? And I guess the people don't really like that when they're on a sports show. So.
I get sick of sports.
He does. He really does.
All right, we'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Still a lot of stuff to get to. I want to get to these rule changes. We talked a little bit about it with Jason Wilde. The Lions submitted some. The Eagles submitted some. Obviously, everybody knows about the Packers. I got to tell you, I'm thrilled that all these other ones have come to light because I am so sick of talking about the tush push and whether or not the league should ban it. So we'll get into that right after this on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Guys, I'm telling you, if you're making plans to propose to that special someone in your life, the Jewelry Center, it's the only place to go for that ring. They're the best place to shop for diamond engagement rings in Milwaukee for a reason. It's what I did. It's what you should do, too. It's what everybody should do. Now, maybe you don't have an idea of what you want that ring to look like. You kind of do. Well, just go to our Pinterest page. See if there's anything there. And the helpful team at the Jewelry Center, to me, that's what really makes the Jewelry Center sing, is that helpful team that Dean, the dancing machine, has put together. They're always going to point you in the right direction, whether you're looking for a naturally mined diamond, lab-grown diamond, whatever you're in the market for. When it comes to that engagement ring, the Jewelry Center has it. Check out their inventory at any one of their 3 locations, Greenfield, Brookfield, or in Burlington. Shop online at shoptjc.com. And when you head to the Jewelry Center, make sure you tell them that Gabe and Chew sent you.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Things starting to slow down a little bit northbound on 43, basically from Center Street up towards Keefe. Southbound side still looks pretty good. Northbound on 41, also a nice quiet ride. Those southbounds tightening up around Capitol. Westbound 94, a little bit heavy coming out of the Stadium Interchange. And eastbound slowing down going into the Stadium Interchange towards 35th Street. Off the freeway system, we do have a crash at Glenview Avenue. This is roughly 84th Street, right at Rockaway Place. The left lane is blocked with this crash. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, gradual clearing, afternoon sunshine, windy with a high of 38. Tonight, mainly clear and cool, a low of 29. Weather's brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
IndyCar racing returns to the Milwaukee Mile at Wisconsin State Fair Park on August 23rd and 24th for the Snap-on Milwaukee Mile 250 weekend. Secure your seats in the grandstands for the best views of all the action. Plus, we've pulled out all the stops with incredible food and live entertainment in the epic free fan zone. Race tickets are on sale now at wistatefair.com. Get ready because IndyCar is back with the Snap-on Milwaukee Mile 250 August 23rd and 24th.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
The madness is back, and so is your chance at proving your hoops knowledge. It's the ESPN Wisconsin Bracket Challenge, presented by Cousin Subs. Fill out a bracket, earn the most points at the end of the tourney, and get a $1,000 gift card to Cousin Subs. Fill out your bracket on ESPN.com or the ESPN Tournament Challenge app. Just search ESPN Wisconsin and enter the password Cousins, all lowercase. It's the ESPN Wisconsin Bracket Challenge, presented by Cousin Subs. They believe in better. Happy bracket season.
No shortcuts, no compromises, just the job done right. At Exterior Pros, we don't just meet expectations, we crush them. Every nail, every window, every shingle is a step toward your home's next chapter. From the moment we start until that final reveal, we're committed to making your home better than ever. Quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. Go to the pros for your next project. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
I'm not saying it was your fault, although you could have done more. Oh, you're so naive, yes, so.
You guys know how we feel about PCI at our house. They have helped us through a ton of home projects, like our basement, right? It was unfinished. We needed it to get finished, and they did an incredible job of taking care of everything we needed. They gave us an area to work out. The girls have their arts and crafts area, in addition to their gymnastics area with a beam and a mat and all of that. And, of course, the big television and the couch, and PCI took care of all of it for us. If you guys are looking for a remodeling project or a home addition, Professional Construction, Inc. is who to call, because they do exceptional work on all of their projects. Tell them Jen from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy sent you when you reach out to professionalconstructioninc.com.
I may say it was your fault, because I know you could have done more.
So yesterday it was revealed that the NFL teams have submitted their rule change proposals. This always happens in the offseason, and they sort of get leaked out. You'll remember a few weeks ago when we were talking about the tush push and how the Packers were the team that wanted the tush push to be eliminated. But there were other ones that came out yesterday, and we talked a little bit about them with Jason Wilde. The one I find most fascinating, honestly, is the reseeding. Is the no longer are the top four seeds, the top four teams in each of the respective divisions, in each of the respective conferences, but it would be based on record. And I got to say, if the NFL wasn't so in love with their divisions and their rivalries and all of that history, this makes sense. To the point, Gabe, that the NBA has already done this. The NBA was like, these divisions aren't working. It doesn't make sense for a team with a lower record to be seated above a team with a higher record in the playoff field, and they did away with it.
But I guess in the NBA, and Jason, I thought, made a great point, and it made me start thinking even more. In the NBA, you're playing everybody. Yeah, you're only playing the West Conference, the Western Conference teams twice each, and then you play teams in the East more than that. But you're playing everybody. So that makes sense to me in baseball, in basketball. But in the small sample size of 17 games, placing that emphasis on the division, I guess can make sense. Because like Jason said, what if the one team or the one division you're playing, is a team from the AFC, the AFC division that stinks, like the AFC South did this year. They were a bad division, just like the NFC South was a bad division, and that was going to be a benefit for one of those AFC teams that was trying to chase down, versus, the Packers next year. They got to play the AFC North. That's going to be tougher. So I understand why people would want it that way, but after hearing Jason's explanation behind it, I doubt that the NFL looks at it, because they're going to go, yeah, it's an unfair schedule. This is the fairest way we can do it. Make sure we're placing an emphasis on those division games. Win your division. That's the easiest way to get a home game.
Yeah, but what was the gap between Minnesota and the Rams? It wasn't like 5 games. I mean, Minnesota went.
Well, I know Minnesota won 14
I believe.
games. Yep.
And then the Rams went. I mean, that's ridiculous. You know what? The thing
the Rams
is,
were 10-7.
People don't care, Gabe. until it affects them. Then they care.
Correct.
That's the only reason. But, I mean, I love how the NBA went to it. It works well. I just think it's unfair, especially when there's a gap. And I can't think back to when Seattle was.
But what if your schedule?
I knew they were playing the Saints, right? Weren't they playing the Saints?
Yeah,
Because that was the Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, there was
big
like
run.
basically an earthquake because the crowd was going so crazy.
About that. Seattle Seahawks that year were 7-9. The New Orleans Saints were 11-5. Seahawks ended up hosting that game and winning that game 41-36.
Like the Rams benefited from being in a crappy division, right? San Fran stunk, Arizona stunk.
Yeah, but
Seattle
you could say the same thing about the Packers. They benefited from getting to play a crappy division because they took on the AFC South.
Yeah.
So so again, that's how it kind of balances itself out, doesn't it? Like winning your division is going to be key. Whereas,
Gabe, no one will complain if they went to the NBA model, where people are going to complain if they stay with the model that they currently have. No one will complain. No one will complain if it is the NBA model. Am I right or wrong?
I mean, look, people are going to complain no matter what, dude. Like that's just what people like to do. You of all people are the one who taught me this.
Hold on. Does anyone complain? I don't know anyone that complains in the NBA.
About this specifically?
What was the lowest seed that got into the postseason in recent years? Like what was their lowest record? Obviously, we keep pointing to the 2011 year when the Seahawks had 7 wins and then hosted a playoff game because they won their division, right?
Yeah. The Buccaneers, was it last year?
They
weren't
had
very
10
good.
wins. I think they had 10 wins last year.
9-8.
9-8.
So 9-8 got them a home game within their division.
Against Philly, right? They played Philly.
They did play Philly at home. Jacksonville the year before was 9-8, won their division. Tampa Bay the year before that won 8-9, got a home game in their division by winning their division. So it has come up, especially with a lower record, winning your division and hosting. It's come up a handful of times the last couple of years, but I guess I'm just leaning towards, hey, okay, just win your division. It's the easiest way to me to do this because the schedules are going to be so unbalanced. Unless you're going to change the way you do your scheduling, which I can't imagine. They've got it down to a pretty good science at this point. I don't think the league's going to change it. I don't think the league's going to change it.
Do you guys want to see the tush push ban? Because I do. I do.
No, it doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother you?
It's not a fun. It's not a fun play. And I like the way the Packers have, because the big question around it was, well, how do you differentiate between that and some of the other, the lineman trying to block down the field, he ends up pushing his guy. How do you differentiate? And they got very specific with their wording in terms of the rule is preventing players from pushing a teammate that is, quote, lined up directly behind the snapper, receives the snap immediately at the snap. So they boiled down the language very specifically of, hey, this is only this specific play that we are trying to get rid of. We're not trying to get rid of an offensive lineman pushing a running back that's 15 yards downfield. Because that's how this play eventually got through in the first place. Was, the whole helping and aiding a runner, it's too tough to officiate. Let's just get rid of it. And that created this loophole.
Before we move on, one of the other rules that the Lions submitted was this idea of getting rid of the penalty, the first down for the defensive penalties. And I have said for years, there is nothing worse than watching a game, a team facing 3rd and 17, throwing it down the field and just hoping for contact downfield, that they'll throw a flag and that they'll move to the spot of the foul. I think that is terrible football.
Sure, but if it is 3rd and 17 and they run a double move on the outside and you just grab, why wouldn't you just grab now? Because it's not going to be a first down. I got feet. I got beat. I'm just going to grab him. It's going to be 5 yards. Not a big deal.
So you're saying giving him the first down was supposed to be some sort of deterrent for the holding?
Correct. For the legal contact or defensive holding.
But Gabe, with that being said, they should adjust that in their call. And their thinking should be, look, they're just waiting for a prayer here. So if I'm going to throw the flag on 3rd and 17 for a holding call, it better be egregious.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You hook somebody, on that double move. Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, they got called for 11 defensive holding penalties last year, which led the league.
Look, If a defender's grabbing on a double move on 3rd and 17, he should get flagged because he's a moron, right?
Well, yeah, but
know
you
the
also
down
have
and
taught
distance.
me that there's a lot of morons in this league.
Yeah.
I just don't like that occasionally it looks like incidental contact, but the referee's like, I got to call it like I see it, and there was contact there, and therefore first down, and now the drive continues. That's what I get like, okay, come on. Like, of course there's going to be contact because it's a physical sport. And it's when you can't, like, differentiate between what you're saying, Chew, which is egregious, and just like, in the course of trying to track a 50-50 ball.
Yeah, but I mean, that's more pass interference. This is just illegal contact defensive holding. So it's those 5-yard penalties that become the automatic first down and not the spot.
Is there a penalty for flopping?
I guess that would be technically unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, but we've seen it's not like the NBA, though, is it? That's not a flag, I believe. Where it should
no. Again, I think they would just probably tell you that it falls under the umbrella of unsportsmanlike conduct. But I'd be, if you want to get rid of flopping, I am all ears. I will listen to any and all ideas that get rid of flopping in every sport.
Let's put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll this morning. Do you think any of the rule change proposals will get passed this year? So that, of course, includes the Packers proposal, the 2 Lions ones that we talked about, and what was the Eagles one that I can't even remember now off the top of my head?
Each team's guaranteed a possession in overtime in the regular season.
Do you think any of these rule change proposals will pass this offseason? We'll put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll. Still a lot of stuff to get to this morning. We've got Kevin Harlan coming up in the second hour of the show. He's going to talk about the teams that are playing at Fiserv Forum for March Madness, and we'll touch on Packers a little bit with him. And we are going to reveal our bracket, our Jen, Gabe, and Chewy bracket for you guys to vote on our social media channels. That's coming up on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Stick around.
Let me tell you about our friends at the Ewald Automotive Group. You can get more with the all-new Kia K4 at Ewald Kia of Oconomowoc. Just $188 per month for a standard Corolla. More leg room, more miles per gallon than the Sentra. The new 2025 Kia K4s with a whole lot more. $188 a month for buy. Get it with Ewald's exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. That's right, 20 years, 200,000-mile warranty. Only with Ewald. Visit Ewald Kia of Oconomowoc. The deal does expire at the month's end. With Ewald, it's always easy. You just start at the website, ewaldauto.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so that you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is to athletes and the Wauwatosa East girls basketball team winning their first WIAA basketball title since 1981. The squad, however, was led by one particular player, Micaiah Litza, scoring 32 points and grabbing another 9 boards plus 5 steals, helping lead a overtime thriller of a victory 59-58 over Edgewood in that state victory. And not to be forgotten, it was the 100th career win for head coach Mary Merg of Tosa East High School. Congratulations to this week's UW Credit Union Student Athletes of the Week, the championship Tosa East girls basketball team.
It's time for the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Marquette fans, Buffalo Wild Wings is the official viewing party location for Marquette games. The next watch party will be Friday, March 21st at the Oak Creek Buffalo Wild Wings for the tourney games. Marquette watch parties will continue for all tourney games.
Well, Marquette's dance partner is set. They will open up the NCAA tournament in Cleveland, taking on the 10-seed New Mexico Lobos. The 26-win Lobos winners of 4 straight before losing in their conference tournament to Boise State. On the other hand, it's 7-seeded Marquette coming off a Big East tournament semifinal appearance, and they're looking to go even further potentially than last year's Sweet 16 tourney run. It's a 6:25 tip-off between Marquette and the University of New Mexico on Friday night.
This has been the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Check out the Golden Eagles watch party schedule at gomarquette.com/BWW for upcoming locations.
Are you dreaming about summer in your backyard yet? Picture it. Beautiful plants, freshly mowed lawn, crisply edged flower beds, and your grilling dinner out on an incredible back patio. Landworks Wisconsin is ready to plan your green space. Locally owned and operated, Landworks prides themselves on exceptional customer service and a personal approach to all your landscaping needs. Their team of experts will work closely with you, making your property shine all year. Experience the Landworks difference. Visit landworkswisconsin.com. That's landworkswisconsin.com.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Josh said it's garbage.
I'm so glad that Josh is getting a front row seat.
He said it doesn't work.
Chewy,
am I right or wrong?
We call that a setup in the biz.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Not gonna lie, wasn't happy with the weather that I came back to from sunny Florida yesterday. Kind of a wintry mix, rain, not a lot of fun, which means golf course is not going to be open. But there is still time for you to make sure that your golf game is sharp by the time those golf courses do open. And of course, I'm talking about my friends at X Golf in Brookfield, X Golf Mech 1, xgolfbrookfield.com, xgolfmech1.com, the websites you go to book your tee times today and use the X Golf state-of-the-art indoor simulators. Great to work on the short game, get the full swings in, play around a golf. But maybe you want lessons. Maybe you want clubs. Check out my guy Mike Meisen at Brookfield. He can get you set up with clubs. He can make sure that your swing is dialed in, ready to go when golf season starts. All starts at xgolfbrookfield.com and xgolfmech1.com.
It is not officially a Power Rankings Tuesday, but Chewy's got a list. Chewy has a top 10 sports days that he wants to share with us this morning. And Chewy, I got to imagine today is high on this list, no?
It is. You guys want to guess the days? Rattle through this quickly?
Yeah.
I think you just do it David Letterman style. You just unveil your top 10 list. We'll react as
top
you go.
10. You ready for this?
Please start with
10. Number 10. What did you just say, young feller?
He said, please start with 10. It's fine. You were going to do it. You guys were in lockstep.
You're a grind, Joshy. All right, number 10. Memorial Day weekend. I guess that's for the Indy 500.
Okay.
Baseball's
Didn't think you would make it, but okay.
10. Gabe, this will disappoint you. Number 9, final round of the Masters. Thought it'd be higher.
Disappointing.
You think it'd be higher?
I
well,
did
Masters,
think, especially for Chewy, would be higher.
Number 1 on my list. I think it's the greatest day weekend in all of sports. Number 8, opening day, which is right around the corner. 7, Kentucky Derby. I love the
Good
Derby.
one.
You guys like the Derby?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's a
Derby's
bucket
every
list.
year, just so you know, every year I tell myself, next year I'm going to go. Next year I'm going to go to the Derby. And then all of a sudden it creeps up on me and I'm like, whoop, missed the Derby.
Wait, the Derby was last weekend? I was supposed to go this year.
That is a bucket list for Angela. Number 6, Super Bowl Sunday.
What?
I agree.
That'd be higher.
Overrated. Little overrated.
Super Bowl Sunday doesn't even make the top 5 for the Super Bowl champion.
I think it's fair. I think it's right there. Little overrated. Overrated.
I mean,
Number
you also did
5.
say once that Super Bowls and parties don't go together, so.
They don't. Number 5, New Year's Day. New Year's Day is awesome.
Is that the
Bulls?
college football playoff?
Yeah, I guess it's the playoff now, yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm
would have
sorry,
this
Gabe.
been-
I'm sorry. I'll take that over the Super Bowl. I will take that over the Super Bowl.
Before the playoff expanded, and you still had like the semifinals coming after New Year's Day or before New Year's Day, would New Year's Day have been lower? Like if they weren't
when it
playoff
was
games
just
this
a
year,
Rose Bowl,
yeah.
where it was just a
and you still had like a national champ, where the second place team in the Big Ten was playing the second place team in the Pac-12 because those champions had gone to the 14 playoff.
Like it. You're a little hung. You're a little hung. You get the shampoo effect going. You got some good games. It's still a solid day. Solid day. Number 4.
Yeah.
Wait. What is a shampoo effect?
When you get a little juicy one night, the next day it's a little sudsy, a little easier to get the game going again. You've never heard of that? Jen, you got to get out more.
Shampoo
4.
effect.
4. Thanksgiving Day.
Okay.
So the Lions?
I get you. Lions. Well, you get 3 games now, too. You always got that rotating game at night.
And the
Great
Pack
tradition,
is
great
usually
food.
Pack is on quite a bit, too.
Yeah.
It's a good way
They've been
to,
the last 2 Thanksgivings.
To celebrate the holiday. Number 3, first Thursday of March Madness. I love today.
So today's number 3.
Yeah, fair?
Yeah, I'm really curious as to what. I mean, we've already knocked off the Super Bowl. We've knocked out, New Year's Day. We've knocked out some pretty heavy ones before we even get to the top 2.
Now, this one I don't really get, but it's fine. It's fine. Thanksgiving weekend. I mean, is that rivalry weekend typically, right?
Yeah, you're going to get the Iron Bowl that week because that's typically the last week of the regular season of college football. So you
Ohio State, Michigan.
You get the game, you get the Iron Bowl, you get stuff like that.
That's solid. I don't know if I'd put it at 2. And this is my number 1. My number 1, hands down.
Wait.
First,
Wait. Hold on. This wasn't
No, I said
your
Masters.
list?
This is my number 2. No, it's not. This is Tampa Bay Times.
I thought you actually did work for once and had created your own lists.
Well, here's the thing. Joshy doesn't tell me anything. I throw out a suggestion. He's like, I'll tell him. And then all of a sudden, Jen springs it on me. I didn't have time. I had no time.
You said you had a list.
Yes, we were told. Yeah, okay. So this is Joshy's fault because Joshy told us that you had a list.
It's not really Joshy's fault. It's Chewy using him as a scapegoat.
No, it's Josh's fault.
Yeah, I expected you to put in a little effort. It's a Wednesday. This should be maximum effort day for you. Thursday, sorry.
Just for that.
Nobody knows
Just
what
for
day
that.
it is.
Gabe, I hope you like your hat.
Yeah. I'll wear it every day, big guy.
Number 1, the first full Saturday of college football. Yes,
First
I love
full
it.
Saturday?
Yep,
Nope.
love it.
Those matchups
Love it.
stink.
Yeah, like you'll get that first
No.
full weekend. Typically, you'll get a good game on like that Friday night, on Saturday night, Sunday. Like you'll have good games, but they're spread out over the course of 4 days. The rest of them are teams that are paying smaller universities to come in and get whooped up 56-2.
No, you're wrong. It's always
You're going to lose
Georgia
your hat,
Tech.
Gabe. You're going to lose your hat.
Jen, you got a new hat coming. Georgia Tech, Florida State. Jen, you were there in Ireland. That was awesome. It was great.
Awesome. That was great.
And now,
just so you know, Silver Fox is weighing in on the YouTube stream. Remember, you can always stream the show on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee. He says, Chewy, you're doing good. Only suckers actually do work.
and that's why I'll be watching a full day of the tournament.
Full second hour of the show. Kevin Harlan, our bracket reveal. We've got top 8 at 8. Don't go anywhere.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Things starting to slow down a little bit northbound on 43, basically from Center Street up towards Keefe. Southbound side still looks pretty good. Northbound on 41, also a nice quiet ride. Those southbounds tightening up around Capitol. Westbound 94, a little bit heavy coming out of the Stadium interchange. And eastbound slowing down going into the Stadium interchange towards 35th Street. Off the freeway system, we do have a crash at Glenview Avenue. This is roughly 84th Street, right at Rockaway place. The left lane is blocked with this crash. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, gradual clearing, afternoon sunshine, windy with a high of 38. Tonight, mainly clear and cool, a low of 29. Weather's brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
IndyCar racing returns to the Milwaukee Mile at Wisconsin State Fair Park on August 23rd and 24th for the Snap-on Milwaukee Mile 250 weekend. Secure your seats in the grandstands for the best views of all the action. Plus, we've pulled out all the stops with incredible food and live entertainment in the epic free fan zone. Race tickets are on sale now at wistatefair.com. Get ready because IndyCar is back with the Snap-on Milwaukee Mile 250, August 23rd and 24th.
Draft day is approaching, and whether you're watching every pick or just there for the party, Higher Love has everything you need to elevate your draft experience. As the best in the Midwest, Higher Love offers the largest selection of organic, clean green certified products at unbeatable value, making them the can't-miss top pick. Higher Love Menominee, an hour from Green Bay, right across the Wisconsin border. Find them at findhigherlove.com/CBD.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Bruston Nortman every day from 2 to 5. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Do you want the good news or do you want the bad news?
Bad, always bad.
What do you mean always bad?
No bad on Friday either. That's a rule of ours.
Gentlemen, we've got some good news and we've got some bad news. The good news is we found your Mercedes.
That's great news.
That's great. Yeah, it's over at Impound right now.
No bad news
Nope.
on Friday?
No.
What do? You just hold it?
You wait till Monday.
Wait, so if I die, they can't tell you till Monday?
Yeah. Gabe's not going to be here today.
The bad news is we can't get you in front of a judge until Monday morning.
You stole a police car.
We didn't steal anything. We found it.
If anything, we deserve a reward or something, like a trophy.
But they'll tell me Monday morning in the
And you'll be
production
like,
meeting.
How did it happen? When did it happen? And we'll be like, well, it happened on Thursday. But
I see like you every day.
Every day.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Woo!
Let's steal a cop car because it'll be really funny.
Yeah. Think you gonna get away with it? Not up in here.
Not up in here.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like
we are live at Potawatomi in the Potawatomi Sportsbook broadcast booth. Wow, that is a mouthful. The Potawatomi Sportsbook broadcast booth for day one of the men's NCAA tournament. Games going on in Milwaukee tomorrow. Practice is taking place today. We're going to talk to Kevin Harlan in about 30 minutes about calling those games at Fiserv Forum. But we put together our own little bracket. You know, last year, guys, we did the grievance bracket. Do you remember the grievance bracket?
I do, yes.
Things we had issues with. I don't even remember what won. Does anyone on the panel remember what won our grievance bracket?
I don't.
I have no idea. I just thought maybe there was a chance that you guys remembered what won the grievance bracket. So this year we put out a bracket, and we are going to reveal it now. Chew, you got the bracket in front of you? We sent it to the text group. This is sports movie characters. It is a 16-character field. On one side of the bracket, we have the heroes of your favorite sports movies, and on the other side, we have the villains. So I think we have to figure out, guys, how do we want to do the villains when you are matching up the villains that we have on here, and we'll reveal it in just a second. Is it the most dastardly, the one that caused the most harm, the one that you disliked the most? Is that how we're like moving the villains through the bracket? What do you think?
I mean, it's just kind of, it feels like the whenever we have the MVP discussion, what's your definition of valuable? Kind of means something different to every person, right? Like we're putting these up for the fans to vote on. It's going to be ultimately up to them.
All right, Joshy, can we get a little bit of music? Can we get a little bit of the old NCAA or music to reveal the bracket? That'll work. All right, Chew, do you want to reveal the bracket for us? What do we got on the left-hand side?
So, top of the left-hand side, we have Rocky versus Ricky Vaughn. Who's Ricky Vaughn?
Wild thing.
Seems to be a problem with the selection process if one of the three of us doesn't even know who Ricky Vaughn is.
Yeah, but it's Chew. I mean,
yeah, I've never seen the movie. Okay, moving
You've never
down,
seen
we have
Major League?
Yeah, we've had this long
No.
That makes
discussion
me
before.
so disappointed. Can you watch Major League? I mean, just in honor of Euchre.
Nope. It's like Groundhog Day. It's why would I want to watch something that I live day in and day out? It just have no
Wait,
use for
you
it.
lived as a player on a bad baseball team
whose owner wanted to sell the team and
moved to Miami?
Yeah, it's an old movie. I'm not big on old movies unless they're good.
You only liked
moving
old
down,
movies. God bless America.
we have Peter LaFleur versus Roy Hobbs, the newly signed DB for the Green Bay Packers.
Do you know who either of those people are?
I've seen them both multiple times. I love both movies. Love Roy Hobbs. That'll be a tough one. Okay, the next bracket down will be Happy Gilmore versus Johnny Moxon. Who is Johnny Moxon?
Gosh. Varsity Blues. James Vanderbeek.
Okay. Is that
I
the
don't
one
want
with Nick
your
Nolte?
life. What are we talking about here?
I mean,
Gabe Nick
no,
Nolte?
it's nope.
I mean, Mox making this list is wild.
Yeah?
Yeah. He's one of the top
Varsity
8
Blues?
sports heroes of all time.
Well, when you think about sports movies, but also here's the other thing that got it in the qualification. A villain. He's got a great villain. Right, so that's when we were making this list, and obviously now you're starting to see that Gabe and Chew were not involved in making the list. So, but when we were making the list, we needed a hero and then a subsequent villain.
But wouldn't you then, if you wanted to pair them up, wouldn't you then just match them up to see who was better, the hero or the
but
villain?
Gabe, there's no one you're putting against Happy Gilmore and winning. Okay, it's a walk no matter who you put against Happy Gilmore. Would you agree with
part
that?
of this is in honor of Happy Gilmore 2 coming out this summer on Netflix.
Okay. All right, right below them is Daniel LaRusso versus Jerry Maguire. Who's Daniel LaRusso?
Wax on, wax off. Just so you know, we got some very looks. We got some looks here in the old Potawatomi Sportsbook studio from people who were like, "What do you mean? Who's Daniel LaRusso?"
That's Mr. Miyagi?
Well, no, that's Mr. Miyagi's, trainee.
Pupil?
Yeah.
The Karate Kid?
The guy who did all the yard work in chores for Mr. Miyagi.
Okay. Okay, we're moving over to the villains bracket up top.
Wait, so who do you like between Daniel LaRusso, the Karate Kid, and Jerry Maguire?
Well, I mean,
you just had to put Tom Cruise on this list, didn't
had
you?
to, yeah. It's inside joke.
Your favorite actor of all time.
I can't stand him.
Yeah, no, that's
all right,
not
here's
true.
the problem, right?
And how does he keep coming up? We talk
here's
more
the
about
problem.
Tom Cruise than any other actor on this show.
And I was in the movie Jerry Maguire, so I'm kind of partial
on the
to
television
that.
screen.
But that movie is not accurate at all when it comes to agents. It's just there's nothing accurate about it, and I struggle with that. But
Even Bob
wax
Sugar
on,
poaching Kush. That's not true. That's not accurate. That doesn't happen.
that is. But the whole agents in the locker room, and it's just. So that'll be a tough one. Okay, ready for the villains?
Hit me with the villains.
Ivan Drago versus Rachel Phelps. Who is Rachel Phelps?
God, well, you didn't see the movie.
Yeah, she's the owner in Major League.
Now, again, these are
okay.
corresponding to the heroes on the hero side of the bracket. They're corresponding.
Yes.
So if Ricky Vaughn, Wild Thing.
Oh,
who was the actor who played that?
Charlie Sheen?
Thank you. Couldn't think of it. It was like a blank. She was the owner of the team who was trying to sell the team, who wanted them to lose every game.
Okay.
I'm
Joshy,
not even sure
did
if
you
Ricky
know that?
Vaughn's the hero of that movie. He's a hero. I don't know if he's the hero.
What is it, more of like a ensemble?
Yeah, but I would say probably Lou Brown's the hero. He's the one who rallies them all together.
Yeah, we really liked Lou Brown, too.
Okay, one below them is White Goodman versus Harriet.
You know who White Goodman is, right?
Well, I know White Goodman. Who the hell's Harriet?
WHIT.
What?
Harriet would have been the one of the bad. I mean, the bad guy of The Natural. I mean, I don't even know if it's Harriet. Isn't it the owner?
That? The one with the dark hair?
I don't know. She shoots him. She shot him with a gun.
She didn't kill him.
Okay, but did you die? Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she furthered his career. Really, when you think about it.
Oh, so she's the hero.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't become this great hitter.
Just
unless
out
he
of
gets
curiosity, was there any chance that Harriet was going to beat White Goodman in the bracket?
No, because no one knows who she is.
Yeah.
Maybe if she killed him, would she beat White Goodman?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, there's probably a better villain to put up there against White.
All right.
Next
who
one,
do we have next?
Shooter McGavin versus Coach Kilmer. Coach Kilmer is what movie?
That is the coach from Varsity Blues.
Yeah, what's that actor's name?
Okay.
John
That
Voight?
is John Voight's.
Oh, is it really? I love
Jobbing
John Voight.
around in John Voight's car.
Yeah. And then the final bracket is Johnny Lawrence versus Bob Sugar. Johnny Lawrence.
Again.
Sweep the leg.
What? Johnny Lawrence.
Okay, so you've seen Karate Kid. I know you've seen Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Because you've
Oh,
talked
is that
about
that?
Karate Kid.
That's the douchey. He should be punchable face.
You
right?
are killing me with this list, Chew. You've seen Karate Kid.
I know the
How do you
face.
not know who Johnny Lawrence is?
Yeah, but he's just
Is
a
that
kid.
his-
The leader of the Cobra Kai is the real villain. The kid
Yeah.
just is doing what he's told. What does he know? He's just a dumb
You
kid.
know what, Jen? That might be your best bracket because I can't stand either actor. Really can't. I mean, Bob Sugar, punchable face. Johnny Lawrence, punchable face.
You're not a big Jay Moore guy?
Who's Jay Moore?
Who plays
The actor who plays
Heavens
Bob
to
Sugar.
Betsy.
I have not seen Karate Kid in 47 years. I know
Yeah,
my
but we're not
memory's getting
talking
better.
about. We're talking about Jerry Maguire, the movie you were in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got you there. Anywho, we're going to post these on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter account so you can vote on them for our bracket. We'll figure out who the best sports movie character is. It is heroes versus villains. I assume we will get, the most dastardly character, the most vile character that we have listed on here. Gut, Gabe, what does your gut tell you is the most vile villain on this list?
No, it's Drago.
Yeah?
Yeah. He's Russian. He's cheating.
Break you.
Literally kills a guy.
He dies.
How many other people on that list killed a guy?
Well, Harriet tried.
She tried, but was not successful.
Coach Kilmer
you know who I
was shooting
think
up those
wins?
kids' legs with the drugs.
Nobody
right?
died. Lives were ruined, but nobody died.
You know who's going to win? White Goodman.
Yeah, White. I was about to say. Ultimately, I think White wins.
Yeah,
on
I
the
think
villain
White.
side.
Cram it up your cram hole, LaFleur.
Yeah. It'll be White Goodman versus
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore. Yeah.
Although
good.
Rocky,
That's
I
not
think,
bad.
could make a run.
Rocky can make a run. I still can't believe Jerry Maguire made the list because he's kind of annoying too. I guess he's the hero of the movie. He's just kind of annoying.
I agree.
He's just a big old whiner.
Who else? Who did we miss? Who should have been on this list? Who is a movie character hero, sports movie character hero that we should have put on the list that has a corresponding villain?
I don't think you need the corresponding villain because it's not like they're matching up at the end anyway, unless you're matching them up with them right away in the first round. I don't think you need the corresponding villain. Like, if I'm putting together a movie list with the greatest villains of all time, like Darth Vader's making the list as one of the greatest villains.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I don't know if Luke
But that's
Skywalker's
not
making the
sports,
greatest
though.
heroes.
It's got to be sports related, though.
Yeah, I'm just using that as an example of, like, overall movies. In that, like, the villain was probably the greatest character of the series versus some of the heroes.
Like, I would have put Steph Djordjevic, probably Tom Cruise's best movie ever. All the Right Moves.
Oh. I mean, Ricky Bobby could have made the list.
Yeah.
And then would you have put the French driver, Sacha Baron Cohen's character?
No, I wouldn't have, because he's not a great villain. And then he kind of becomes a good guy at the end. They come together and they celebrate together.
They kiss.
But, yeah.
Is that how it ends?
You taste of America.
Chewy hasn't seen the end of the movie, so he doesn't know. All he saw was the part about, peeing excellence and whatnot. All right, we got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We will post this on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter account so you guys can vote on our bracket. It is the sports movie characters on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We are taking a break. We have to do top 8 at 8 next and then get to Kevin Harlan at the bottom of the hour. Stick around.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Northbound 43, we've got some backups from about Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Keith. Southbound side's looking pretty good, though. East and westbound 94, a little bit tight through the stadium. Westbound slowing from 35th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound's slowing down just coming out of the stadium interchange. Traffic is brought to you by Adams, the #1 rated Generac dealer in Wisconsin. Severe weather has arrived. Don't be left with no power. For power peace of mind for your home or business, visit adamspower.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, gradual clearing, afternoon sunshine, windy with a high of 38. Tonight, mainly clear and cool, a low of 29. Weather is brought to you by Burnsy's Bar and Grill on 97th and Greenfield, your college hoops headquarters. Catch all the action on their 29 TVs and enjoy drink specials during the games. Burnsy's Bar and Grill. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Drum roll, please. Carbliss is here with refreshing new flavors. Introducing their Tropical Bliss Variety Pack. Let the summertime flavors of blood orange, watermelon, raspberry, and grapefruit whisk you away from the winter blues. New flavors, same great Carbliss perks. Every handcrafted cocktail still has 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and just 100 calories. Find the Tropical Bliss Variety Pack in store wherever Carbliss is sold and enjoy your winter passport to paradise. Grab a pack today and discover why less is more with Carbliss.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Progressive knows sports brings people together, but you gotta feel bad for people who don't even get it. Some people will never know what it's like to see their favorite team's hopes decided by a ping pong ball to draft the next superstar. Or not. I mean, sure, it's silly for your happiness to hinge on the success of a 20-year-old entry-level employee, but you just can't help yourself. The stress is exhilarating. Progressive can't bring people together like the draft, but we can bring your home and auto insurance together with a bundle. So switch and see if you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers, not available in all states or situations.
A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. That's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Head to TrueGreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
Michelle Smallman here. Do you want to be at the draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin? Travel Wisconsin is sending 10 lucky fans and a guest to the draft. Experience the thrill of the draft firsthand and make memories that will last a lifetime. Don't wait. Enter Travel Wisconsin's Dream Draft Sweepstakes. Visit travelwisconsin.com/draft to learn how you can win a trip to experience the biggest moment of the offseason. Epic moments that become lifelong memories are waiting to be discovered across Wisconsin. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You want more physical harm beset upon people who are trying to earn a living.
I want winners. If someone has to die in order for us to win, then that's the price you pay.
On 94.5 ESPN.
I let it go, 'cause I won't see you later when we're not allowed to talk it out. I said I'd go, put myself on a show, but I'm still trying to figure it out.
Hey, all you sports bettors, if you you aren't making your wagers at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you are missing out on an elite experience. It is a complete sports betting paradise. State-of-the-art venue. We've talked about it a lot. Self-service betting kiosks, seating for more than 200 people, a first-class bar and restaurant, the VIP deck, the broadcast booth, which we are currently sitting in, and, of course, the giant video wall over 2,000 square feet. They have figured it all out. Bet above the rest only at Potawatomi Sportsbook.
The top 8 at 8.
Name something that follows the word pork.
You pie.
Huh?
One category.
Name something people take with them to the beach. Turkey.
The top 8 answers.
The first thing you buy in a supermarket. Turkey.
The top 8 at 8.
A food often stuffed. Turkey.
The top 8 at 8 on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Name Popeye's favorite food.
Chicken.
Show me chicken.
The top 8 at 8 on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
What do we got, Gabe?
Easy list today. It's very simple, very straightforward. I don't have faith that you and Chew are going to get a lot of them.
Very simple, very easy. First graders could do well on this. You guys are going to stink.
List of 8 things in front of me. Jen and Chew guess back and forth. Once they each get one incorrect, we open up the Car Blues Talk and text line, 800-990-3776. Whoever gets the last one gets that ESPN Milwaukee prize pack. I am just looking for the teams that were in the Elite 8 a year ago.
UConn.
UConn is one of those teams. They were the number 1 seed in the East Regional.
Who's mad that I stole UConn?
Okay. Big Ten. Michigan.
Was not in the Elite 8 a year ago.
Okay, I'm done.
800-990-3776. Why don't you go ahead and get your dialing fingers ready, ladies and gentlemen, to try to figure out the top teams that were in the Elite 8 last year. Okay, there had to be some other. How about Alabama?
Alabama was the 4 seed in the West Regional, and they were in the Elite 8.
Okay, how
Ultimately made the Final Four.
There had to be some other SEC teams. I know Auburn got bounced. How about was Creighton in the Elite 8 last year?
They certainly were not.
Darn it.
Looks like we'll be getting Kevin around.
How quickly they forget. How quickly they forget. Now, the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy fans out there are going to knock out the rest of this list pretty quickly.
800-990-3776.
Cinderella team that you guys forgot about.
I feel like Duke was probably in the field. I feel like
Jen, you're out.
No, I know. I'm just saying that. I just assumed there were other Big East teams.
There were. No, they're AC.
Now, are you looking at a list and now you're getting your conferences wrong? What's happening here?
In fairness, the conferences have been jumbled over the last handful of
800-990-3776. Joshua, you're going to have to handle the phone calls here since we can't see him on remote. So this is tricky for Joshua because he's answering the phone and then he's also putting him on the air.
First person up, Dan and East Troy. Dan, who you got?
I know NC State was in there.
So NC State, as an 11 seed, made a run to the Final Four. They were in the Elite 8 a year ago.
They beat Marquette, right?
Not in the Elite 8.
I know Purdue was in there.
Purdue was the number 1 seed in the Midwest Regional. So now we've got half the teams. We've got UConn, we have Alabama, NC State, and Purdue. We just need the other 4 teams that were in the Elite 8 a year ago.
Oh, boy. That's all I got. Let me take a guess on Duke.
Duke was in there against NC State in the South Regional. So they made the Elite 8 as well. And now you're it. That's it. That's all you got?
Just guess something else, just for fun.
Well, hold on now. Houston, I know, got beat by someone, but I can't remember who it was. But I'll guess Houston.
Houston is incorrect. Made a good run, though. single-handedly did better than Jen and Chew.
Well, like you said, not all that hard. Joshy, who we got?
Jason in Hale's Corner, you are on the air.
All right, Jason, who you got? We got 3 teams left that made the Elite Eight a year ago.
I'm going to say Florida.
Did not make the Elite Eight a year ago.
Next up, we have Marquise in Milwaukee. Marquise, you're up.
Hey, guys. Could you possibly reset the list?
Yep, I can. So we have 5 of the 8 teams that made the Elite Eight a year ago. We have UConn, we have Alabama, we have Duke, we have NC State, and we have Purdue.
Okay. Tennessee?
Tennessee was a 2 seed in the Midwest Regional, made the Elite Eight.
I know there was another ACC team. Clemson.
Clemson was a 6 seed in the West Regional, leaving just one team who also made the Elite Eight a year ago.
And it's understandable if you don't want to mention this team.
I know, because they're the rivals, and I hate them, and we hate the Bears, but Illinois.
Illinois took on UConn and got boat raced. Those are the 8 teams in the Elite Eight, and that went about as well as I thought.
Exactly as you expected it to go.
Correct. The fans would come through, Jen and Chew would choke, and then we could get to Kevin Harlan on time.
Really was good planning by you. It was excellent planning by you. All right, we will take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Kevin Harlan coming up next. Obviously, one of the great broadcasters that we have here in the state of Wisconsin, whose talents are seen across the country and will be this weekend when he calls the games at Fiserv Forum for March Madness. Stick around. Kevin Harlan coming up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Gabe and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Northbound 43 backing up right around the North Avenue curve all the way up towards Keefe. East and westbound 94 both slowing down right through the stadium interchange. Actually on your way out of the stadium interchange, depending on what direction you're going. That's really where those delays are. Otherwise, everything else is rolling along pretty well. I'm not seeing really anything else to slow you down. Traffic is brought to you by Adams, the #1 rated Generac dealer in Wisconsin. Severe weather has arrived. Don't be left with no power. For power peace of mind for your home or business, visit adamspower.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, gradual clearing, afternoon sunshine, windy with a high of 38. Tonight, mainly clear and cool, a low of 29. Weather's brought to you by Good Health Saunas. Get your in-home infrared sauna today. Learn more at goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen and visit them at the Home and Garden Show March 21st through March 30th. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, it's Gabe Nitzel from ESPN Milwaukee's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Golf season is going to be here before you know it, so you have to make sure you're ready to go at X Golf in Brookfield or X Golf in Mech 1. Take advantage of the state-of-the-art simulators that they have to make sure your game is in the best shape it possibly can be. Maybe you need a lesson from one of their PGA pros to make sure you're beating your buddies when it's time to play outside. Plus, you can take advantage of the great food and drink specials that they have. Book a tee time today, xgolfbrookfield.com or xgolfmech1.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. The IRS has you in their crosshairs. We are local and know how to deal with the IRS and state to solve your situation. Just the other week, we successfully removed the target on Nick to get $194,358 of taxes and penalties removed. This is why I started Right Choice Tax Resolution, to help people fight the IRS and state. You don't know the ins and outs of all the taxes they can charge you or the more than 150 penalties they can impose on you. Make the right choice and call us at 844-222-1192. We want to help so your bank account doesn't get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security garnished, or a lien put on your house. Get rid of that stress and get back to enjoying life. The situation won't go away if you do nothing. Call us at 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us right now to book a meeting.
The madness is back, and so is your chance at proving your hoops knowledge. It's the ESPN Wisconsin Bracket Challenge, presented by Cousin Subs. Fill out a bracket, earn the most points at the end of the tourney, and get a $1,000 gift card to Cousin Subs. Fill out your bracket on ESPN.com or the ESPN Tournament Challenge app. Just search ESPN Wisconsin and enter the password Cousins, all lowercase. It's the ESPN Wisconsin Bracket Challenge, presented by Cousin Subs. They believe in better. Happy bracket season. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I thought
Salvation
every time
Army.
that they hear their name when it's non-scheduled, that's what they want to hear.
I could hear Ashley laughing in the background.
Am I right or wrong?
He's not wrong. Hey, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
He is wrong.
On 94.5 ESPN.
March Madness is going in earnest today, but you can actually watch practice today here in Milwaukee at Fiserv Forum. Teams are taking the floor. The doors open at 10 a.m. Practice schedules vary, with each team getting about 40 minutes or so on the floor. And I believe that's where our next guest, Kevin Harlan, is en route to. Kevin Harlan, of course, the voice of so many of our favorite calls across all sports, right? What can't Kevin Harlan do? And we are so lucky to have him here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning, as he will be calling those games at Fiserv Forum. Good morning, Kevin. How excited are you about starting these games tomorrow at Fiserv Forum?
Hey, good morning, Jim. Morning, guys. Great to be on. Thanks for having me. I'm very excited, especially now that we've got the 8 teams all settled. Right, we didn't know what was going to happen until we got through the 2 games in Dayton over the last couple nights, and now North Carolina's coming here, which is great. A good Xavier team's going to be in Milwaukee, and that's going to be fun. So, someone called me last night from New York and said that now may make this the best first weekend site in terms of big name teams and schools. Illinois is here, Iowa State's here. I mean, it's loaded. It's going to Ole Miss. It's going to be a lot of fun. It really is. I'm anxious to watch these practices today, talk with some of these coaches, and get at least this site going, because I think it promises to be a lot of fun.
Kevin, who are some underdogs you think that could make some noise this year in the tournament?
That's a great question. You know what? I don't know. How's that?
That's fair.
I'm not sure.
Well, how do you think Marquette and Wisconsin fare in this year's tournament?
Yes. Yeah, I'd like to think Wisconsin's got incredible momentum coming out of the Big Ten tournament. They've gotten better. They've won, I think I saw a note where they've won more games this year than they have in the last 4. In any particular season. So Greg has certainly got that program turned. Shaka's doing a terrific job. We know what Marquette always does. We had him last year. We had Marquette last year. Where were we last year? In I can't remember now, but wherever we were, we had a chance to see him. I had him in his VCU run. So I've had a chance to know both these coaches. And, of course, being from Wisconsin, we've got a real interest in both those teams. Why not them? I think back to the original question, I think it's so wide open, and the level of play and the transfer portal and everything else has really evened everything that we used to know about college basketball and this tournament in particular. The Blue Bloods are now just barely getting in, like we see with North Carolina. Kansas is a 7th seed. Indiana isn't even in. So the teams that we've always kind of grown up thinking these are the teams that are always going to be there in March are either hanging on by a thread, have a decent shot, but nothing overwhelming. So you ask for a team to watch. I'll watch the Badgers, kind of like St. John's. I think Patino in this environment is very difficult. So a lot of great teams, incredible amount of stories, and we can't wait to get it going.
Kevin, I'm going to give you a pass on not knowing where you were for Marquette last year, because how do you keep your schedule straight, man, between college basketball, the NBA, NFL on Westwood One, CBS? How do you even keep it? Do you wake up sometimes not even knowing what city you're in?
Only when I go to the bathroom at 3 in the morning. That's the only time when I'm kind of when I'm and Jen probably knows that. I'm sure those guys have told her, but as you're going through a dark hotel room, you're playing Helen Keller, right? You're feeling walls. You're trying to grab onto something. You always stub your toe. And I go, where in the heck am I? And I, not only do I know what city I'm, I don't even know what room I'm in. So it's, but we all travel to a degree. But that's the only time, especially this year. Now we're moving pretty quickly from NBA to college and back to NBA but it makes it fun. We all love being in the business, but that is one of the perils of this business. Sometimes not knowing where you are and what time it is.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Harlan, legendary broadcaster, joining us here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. And I got to be honest, Kevin, just hearing your voice, it elicits memories for me of certain calls, certain games that you have been on the mic for. Did you always know that this was the career you wanted to pursue? I mean, you've got those dulcet tones, right? Like, it's just very soothing, very calming, and then you get amped for the big moments. Was this a path that you always knew that you wanted to be on?
Well, thanks, Jen. Coming from someone like you that's accomplished so much, that's nice to hear this early in the morning. My dad was he was a journalism major at Marquette and wanted to be a writer, got into sports, and eventually worked his way to Green Bay and ran the Packers. And but when I was a kid, I went to spring training with him when he was with the Cardinals. Worked in the press box when I was a kid up at Lambeau in Green Bay for many years. And had a chance to see the great writers like the Bud Lees of the world, had a chance to see the great broadcasters, and we can start rattling off all those Lindsey Nelson and Pat Summerall and Ray Scott, and seeing those guys work, Jim Simpson of NBC, Kurt Gowdy. And then I went to a high school in Green Bay that had a radio station. I broke my collarbone going out for football, tried out for the radio play-by-play job for a little 10-watt radio station in Green Bay, and got the job, and that was it. I always had an interest in it, and my dad never pushed, but he always kind of framed my reference when I was talking about it and telling me what might be needed and what were some of the the things that I had to do to get to where I wanted to go, and was always so incredibly supportive. And so I began doing games in my room like a lot of broadcasters when I was about 10 or 11 years old, and it's led to this. So I've been incredibly lucky. As you know, the three of you know, this business is incredibly subjective, tough to navigate. You're dealing with a lot of people who got a lot of answers, but sometimes not the stuff to back it up. And so you're constantly trying to evolve and get better and survive a very tough business. But it's been a joy, and it's gone by in, quite frankly, the blink of an eye.
Kevin, how is your dad doing? I know Packers fans around the country would love to know, and I'll say that, I mean, in all my years in Green Bay, everyone loved your dad. And I'll say this, he is a top 5 nicest guys I have ever met. How is he doing?
Well, that is, I'm going to pass that on to him. He'll love to hear those words, especially from you. Thank you. He's doing great. Physically, he gets around, but not as nimbly as he once did. But for instance, the other day, I was driving someplace and we were talking, and we were going over the NIL, and he started bringing up stuff in NIL that I didn't even know. Like, his mind is so sharp, and he loves college basketball. He loves watching Jen on college football. And that game day show is truly the centerpiece. That is the tent pole of his week, is watching game day. He loves it. He just loves it. I told him last night I was going to be on with you, and he was thrilled, Jen. But anyway, my point is that he's doing great. My mom is doing great. You know, the one thing, they have two things that are terrific. They're both in their 80s, deep into their 80s, but they've got each other, and they've been married for 65 years, 66 this August, 65 years, and they're still living in the same house that he bought when he left the Cardinals and came to the Packers in 1971, the house that my brothers and I grew up in. They've stayed in that same house. They love the neighborhood, and they've got each other. And at that age, and not knowing a lot of the ins and outs, and the doctor may disagree, but from my standpoint, being together at that age all these years in a place that is familiar and comfortable to them is just priceless. And it's keeping them alive and sharp, and they're doing just absolutely wonderful. So thank you so much for asking about them. They're doing great.
Here. That is
I'll
awesome
pass it
to
on.
hear.
I'll pass it on.
Loving hearing that.
Well, let's continue to talk about your family then, Kevin, because you've obviously accomplished so much in your career. How fun is it for you to be able to see your daughter, Olivia, continue to grow her career and then, run into her, during some cool events like the Super Bowl?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, she's doing well. She had to kind of reinvent herself as she went overseas with Sam, and he's playing basketball right now in Barcelona, and they were in London, and they've been in Istanbul, and they were down in Russia and Sochi many years ago. But as Jen knows, trying to make that level in your profession is incredibly challenging. And she was lucky enough out of college to get that opportunity with ESPN. But then when she went overseas some 6 years ago, she had to kind of reinvent herself. So she's worked her way by invitation of the NFL to be a part of a lot of the different things they do over there for Commissioner Goodell in hosting forums with fans over there, and then works every week for Sky Sports, which I guess is the equivalent of ESPN or Fox Sports here in the U.S. Mm-hmm. So she's working NFL basically every week in some capacity in studio. She's covering the games in London and Munich, and will do that, and it's going to expand over in Europe. And as long as they're over there, I think that's what she's going to do. She's a mom. They've been married for 6 years, and she's one of our 3 daughters, so we're very proud of her. I told her, I said, I told all 4 of our kids, I said, all you've been able to, by the grace of God, is see someone in a tough business that has been given every break and gotten every wonderful opportunity along the way. The majority of the people in this business don't reach that. They don't ever hit the tone that they want to, get to the market they had dreamed of, have the job they had sought, and it becomes really difficult. And she said, "Thanks, Dad, but I'm still getting in it." And so she did, and she's really enjoyed her ride through the business. How much longer she'll do it, I don't know, but it's intoxicating when you get in it. You live for the crowds, like we're going to see it at Fiserv here tomorrow and today, and and watching these kids play and the unknown of how the game is going to unfold over the next 2.5 hours, and it's very addictive. It's very, very tough. And once you're kind of in that arena, and she and I have covered Super Bowls together, which has been so great, and Packer training camp and other things. For a father to see their child do all that is incredibly gratifying. But I've enjoyed her journey. She's enjoying it. We talk a lot about it. We study people that we admire, including one of the people on this call, and she has taken a lot of cues. She keeps notes. She studies, and I like her effort and her challenge to herself to always get better every broadcast.
This feels like the most unnecessary reset in the history of radio, but we are talking to Kevin Harlan because I know y'all are recognizing his voice out there. You know who is on the call with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. And when you mentioned Sam, of course, that is Sam Decker, who had incredible success at Wisconsin this time of year when he was there with the Badgers as well. I want to talk about the Green Bay Packers because you obviously know that team very well. We have been somewhat critical of varying degrees this offseason of how Brian Gutekunst and company have gone about their business. Give us some reasons reasons for optimism for this Green Bay Packers team. We are watching the Lions continue to build something there in Detroit. We are watching the Vikings, although they don't know exactly how the quarterback position is going to shake out. They are hopeful that it will be J.J. McCarthy. And we are watching the Packers now looking up at these teams in the division. Kevin, give us some reason for optimism for the 2025 Packers season.
Well, I think the Packers are like a value stock. They're like a blue chip value stock that just have the continual dividend they pay. They're always ascending. They may have different forms and variations of how they do business and who is there. And I don't know that any of us really realize just what a seismic event it was when Rodgers left after all those years, as it was when Favre left and Aaron had to take over. And now, getting the quarterback thing set is always job one for an organization. The most important relationship in that building every single day is the quarterback and the head coach. And until they got that right, until they found their guy and committed to him, I think your compass is kind of all over the place. It's like Johnny Depp in Pirates, right? That compass is pointing it's rotating. You don't know where you're going. So the quarterback thing had to be fixed. And remember, it didn't get fixed until the second half of 2 seasons ago. They really didn't know what they had in Jordan Love. So from that point on, once you've got that position set and you feel comfortable by just shocking success and luck, a lot of it is luck, you may have your third long-term quarterback in a row, which never happens in the NFL, ever. But it's happened to this organization. So they've only lived in this world for a year and a half. Second half of the season 2 years ago, and then the great run in the playoffs. They make the playoffs last year, but they're in the toughest division in pro football. And you can go out and you can make the splashy sign, and you can go out and do all these different things. And I applaud the Vikings and the Lions for what they've done, and as aggressive as the Bears have done by bolstering their line, especially the middle of it, and the quarterback they think is going to be the guy. The news story is always fun, right? The news story is always great. The Packers just keep going along. They fix something here. They handle something there. They tweak this. They polish off that. It's not an organization that's going to be splashy. They had to be splashy with Reggie White. They had to be splashy with Brett Favre. I guess they had to be splashy when they drafted both Rodgers and Love. But this is an organization which has found the players, the Chimuras of the world. They've drafted them, they've developed them, they've played them, and they've had their run. But I would tell you that if anybody thinks that they don't walk into 1265 Lombardi every day with a sense of urgency, they are completely wrong. And one of the most competitive GMs in football is Gutekunst. And they are building, but they're not an organization which is splashy, as we know. That's just not what they do. The biggest thing they've done in the last couple of years, in addition to finding the quarterback, was getting the running back in the trade with the Raiders, and that proved to be an incredible success. One of the best deals, one of the best signings made in the league. So I have faith in what they do. I trust. The Chiefs haven't been splashy, but they've been to 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. And so they may get a piece here and a part there. They just know what to do, and they have a culture and a system and a model that they follow. So I would always trust the process and feel like, for the first time in a long time, the Vikings, the Lions, and the Bears are starting to kind of wake up and do some things, and we get it. That's their job. Their job is to do that. So I'm taking a different approach, and I just think that until everything is set, until they've signed the kids off the street and done the draft, and let's see what they get when the page turns into May and what the roster is looking like. I have complete faith in what they're doing, and that is not a paid endorsement. I feel like they know exactly what they're doing, and they have a method to it, and I think the best is yet to come, quite frankly.
Well, you are a credible and knowledgeable and reliable source on all things Green Bay Packers. Chewy, someone asked in the YouTube stream, Pirates of the Caribbean. Have you seen that one yet?
I have, but it's been a few years.
Okay, he's familiar.
Yeah. Because he made the reference, and we just weren't sure if you were able to follow it or not. Kevin
Captain
Harlan,
Jack Sparrow.
You
There we
are
go.
just the best. We
Sparrow,
so
that's right.
appreciate you, and we cannot wait to hear you on the call for these games from Fiserv Forum on Friday. We'll get you to practice now. Enjoy it, and we appreciate you so much.
Jen, Gabe, Chewy, thank you so much. So fun to be on. Take care.
He's Kevin Harlan, the voice of everything. I wanted to rattle off the list, but we're running out of time.
Please show a little respect. The legendary Kevin Harlan.
The legendary voice of Kevin Harlan. No, the legendary Kevin Harlan, voice of everything.
There we go.
We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Still so much more to get to in the final segment of the show. But before we get to that, guys, I want to tell you about my friends over at Good Health Saunas. You know how it is. You're walking through the Expo Center at the State Fair. You see something that piques your interest. That's how it went down for me with my Good Health Sauna. I am always looking for ways to focus on my wellness, my longevity, my overall health. And that's what the sauna has done for me. It sits in our basement. I fire it up, and in about 20 minutes, I can improve my my recovery. I can improve my sleep. I can improve my skin. My hair even started growing more than it was before, all because I started using my Good Health Sauna from Good Health Saunas. And you can too. Go to their website. It's goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen. There you can get $500 to $800 off your purchase. It's a great deal, and you should check it out. They'll also be at the Realtors Home and Garden Show March 21st through the 30th. If you want to pay them a visit there, just tell them Jen from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy sent you.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Are you ready to shake things up at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee? All you gotta do is toss your rewards card into your favorite slots for drawing entries and a chance to be in the Roll for Riches game show. What's on the table? Oh, just $300K in cash and prizes. Play this March, and Thursday nights, you could get on a winning streak that, frankly, you deserve. Let it ride and roll for riches. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Hey, this is Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. One of the best decisions I've made was getting an infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. Based right in Appleton and Waukesha, they're locally owned for 2 decades. Good Health Saunas are easy to install, cost as little as 25 cents a day, and even include a true lifetime warranty. Learn about Good Health Saunas options at goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen. And you can get $500 to $800 off your purchase. Or see them for yourself March 21st through 30th at the Realtors Home and Garden Show at State Fair Park. Remember, that's goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever. That's 4 lines on unlimited welcome for just $25 a line per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. You'll also get the new iPhone 16 Pro, 4 of them for the entire family when you trade in up to 4 phones from our top brands. That's a new phone for everyone, only on the network you can count on. Verizon. Visit a store today. 20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
Evan Cohen here. Picking a place to build a life is a lot like selecting a draft pick. Make a decision that will set you up for long-term success. Pick Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you'll find dynamic career opportunities, beautiful seasons, affordable living, and legendary weekends. From its high quality of life and great schools to its fine arts, culinary, and pro sports scenes, Wisconsin gives you so much to look forward to. That's why you should pick Wisconsin. Learn more about making Wisconsin your home. Visit pickwisconsin.com.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and that's
That's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
What was a rebound? What did you just say?
Robust. You could say robust. Doesn't robust sound like a nice word of saying just a click below fat?
No, buddy, you're not fat.
Well,
you're
there's
rebound.
Well, Charles Barkley.
There's another
round mound of rebound.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Here we go.
Let me tell you about our good friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. You've heard so many people from ESPN Wisconsin talk about them. They're part of us now here at Jen, Gabe, and Chewy as well, because we talk a lot about the unprecedented quality and service you get from Pella. But when you're talking to the people who work there, you can tell how much they genuinely love what they do. And that's why we love Pella. Pella's team is with you from start to finish. They're not going to disappear on you right after the sale. So right now, take advantage of windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. We're looking maybe at a new front door, so I may have to take advantage of that. Certain restrictions do apply. Ends 3/31/2025. Get started today at PellaWY.com.
Thank you all for coming. I hope you like the show, 'cause it's on.
Holy moly, what a great conversation we had with Kevin Harlan just a few moments ago. If you missed any of it, please check out our podcast on Apple, Spotify, or Wisconsin On Demand. Today's Infinity Exteriors poll on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll: will you be watching today's NCAA tournament games while at work? 58% of people said, hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, we're watching NCAA games. While 21% of people say, at work, I took the whole day off. Good on you. We are here at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Hope to see a bunch of you here as well. Wildy and Tausch is next on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee.
Northbound 43 backing up right around the North Avenue curve all the way up towards Keefe. East and westbound 94.